Well, good evening and thank you for joining us. Welcome to the virtual college exploration for all New Jersey students. It's sponsored by NJACAC, which is the New Jersey Association for College Admission Counseling. We're so thrilled that you're joining us this evening to learn more about NJIT. A few housekeeping announcements before your presenters get started, just so that you're aware. The presentation will last approximately 45 minutes at the most. Your camera and microphone is off, so any questions that you may have for the representatives, please use the Q&A feature at the bottom of your screen in the center, and you can put your questions in as the presentation goes on. So that's your only way to communicate with them during this session. Also note that the session is being recorded, so if you have to miss some of it, the rest of it will be posted on our website of njacac.org. And there will be one more round of sessions tonight from colleges at approximately 8 p.m. So hopefully you can join some of those if there are any schools that you're interested in. But at this point, I'm going to turn it over to Lucy and Debbie from NJIT.
Thank you. Hi, everyone. Good evening. Welcome to NJIT virtually. I hope everyone's having a great evening so far, and thank you for taking the time to join us on this Friday evening. So we are going to get started. I'm just going to pull up a quick presentation. Okay, and let's hit present. There we go. Okay, so any questions that you have throughout the presentation, please feel free to use the chat feature. I am joined by my colleague Debbie Gavanon, so she will be helping out in the chat, and then if there's other questions at the end, we can also discuss verbally as well. So without further ado, let's get started. So NJIT today, we do offer 128 programs on campus. We do have 70 research centers on campus as well with specialized labs. And we are ranked as one of the nation's elite research universities with an R1 classification. So within the state of New Jersey, we are one of 3 schools that hold this classification: us, Princeton University, and Rutgers, New Brunswick. And as far as enrollment goes, we have over 11,000 students on campus. That includes undergraduate as well as postgraduate students. For your first year class highlights, just some numbers for you. The average SAT, these numbers were for our freshman class last year, so 2019, but the average SAT was a 1295, with the average ACT being a 28, and average GPA being a 3.6. We will go into detail with requirements and things of that nature for admission, so not to worry. And as we are a state school, majority of our students do come from the state of New Jersey. However, we do have some students that come from the rest of the country as well. We do also have international students, so there's a nice mix and a good diversity on campus, which is really, really nice and I think important as a prior student. So the academic overview on campus, we are a small to medium-sized school with the 11,000 being post and undergraduate. The average class size is about 25 students, with the student to faculty ratio being 17:1. 98% of our faculty do hold the highest degree in their field, and we are fully accredited. All programs offered at NJIT are fully accredited by the appropriate accrediting boards, commissions, and associations. And you'll see some of the pictures here are students and faculty working on various different things, which should you wish to do on campus, you're more than welcome to. I'm not going to go into too much information on the specific majors that are offered, but this is just a little highlight of each of the colleges that we offer and then the programs within each college. So this is our NEWARK College of Engineering, which is our oldest and one of the largest professional engineering schools in the United States. We celebrated 100 years last year, which is pretty incredible. And I'd just like to give a little shout out to one of the majors that's listed on this slide. It is Concrete Industry Management. Now I know you're probably thinking, I can get a degree in concrete? You can. So essentially it is you are going to be in the College of Engineering. The degree that you receive itself is a Bachelor's of Science in Concrete Industry Management. And the industry itself, the concrete industry, is booming these days. So starting salary is around $67,000 for someone with a CIM degree. So Concrete Industry Management is abbreviated to CIM. I'm not going to talk too much more about it, but if you have specific questions about the concrete industry program, please let me know. I do recruit for that program specifically, so that's why I like to give it a little shout out. And then also you'll see at the bottom of your screen, we have some open houses that are coming up. We've got one tomorrow, actually, and then there's another one in November for the mini open houses. There's 2 different times available, 10 a.m. or noon. And then we do also offer major spotlights, which is going to be a little bit more of an intimate setting. They're all free and they are all online. So if you register, I'll have a link at the end of the presentation for you if you do wish to register. Following, we have our HILLIER College of Architecture and Design. Just a little note with this major, or I should, excuse me, with this program, if you do apply, you do also need to have a portfolio as well, in addition to all the other requirements for admission. Programs to choose from, the biggest difference that's here is the 5-year Bachelor's of Architecture versus the 4-year. The difference between the two is obviously, one, the length, and second is that with the 5-year, you have a certification saying that you are an architect, whereas with the 4-year, it's you have that architecture background, but you're not a certified architect. So that's just the difference between the two. And again, those open houses are listed there for you, as well as the major spotlights. Next, we have our College of Science and Liberal Arts. There's a few new ones, new majors that we have listed. One of them is forensic science. The other one is cyber psychology. So if there's anything here, this is kind of like a mixed bag. There's science, there's history, there's liberal arts. It's like a nice little mix that we have in this college. So again, any questions, please feel free to leave them in the chat. And then the open houses, again, are listed there for College of Science and Liberal Arts, for open houses, as well as these major spotlights. Next, we have our Martin Tuchman School of Management. So this is it's a new, well, there's a new program. It's the financial technology, but the major itself is business. And then you can choose any of the items below, such as accounting, financial technology, marketing, to minor in or specialize in. And they also have just a fun fact about the Martin Tuchman School of Management. Martin Tuchman, who is the founder of the program, he made his life's work in shipping containers. And so part of his, there's a program that he's currently working on with our students and the School of Management, where they're taking a shipping container on campus and they're turning it into a coffee shop. So students in the program are going to be creating a business plan, a business model, and so on and so forth. And then the HILLIER College of Architecture and Design is also getting involved, and they're going to help design the inside of it and the outside, etc., etc. So it's a cool concept. And should you wish to work in the coffee shop, that is an option as well for you. Next, we have our YING College of Computing. This is our most popular major by far, I would say, and especially with everything being online now, this is certainly a very interesting and current major to pick, or I should say topic to pick. But different majors you can choose from are business and information systems, computer science, computing and business, information systems, information technology, and web and information systems. And again, we do have some open houses that are listed. There is only 2 dates so far of the mini open house on the 24th, so that's coming up. And then there is a major spotlight as well. And just some information about our honors college, our Albert Dorman Honors College. It is ranked in the top 10 public honors colleges. And the options within the honors college itself, you do have the option to take honors courses and thesis level research. And a nice perk of being in the honors college is that you have a professional development experiences available to you, on-campus housing as well, and then you get to participate in community service. There is accelerated programs, and you also have a network of people to work with and people to look up to in terms of academics and things of that nature. So it's a really cool program to be involved in. The only difference between this program and general admission as far as requirements, we'll talk about that in a second. There are open houses for you to join if you are interested in the honors college. There is one next weekend, I believe, and then the following will be in November. These are the programs itself through the honors college. So if you're thinking about working in the medical field, law, anything of that nature, then it would be through the Honors College. Just a side note too, if you do apply to the Honors College and you are unsuccessful, you are still eligible for admission into the general admissions at NJIT. So just keep that in mind. And like I said, there is open houses that are coming up for the Honors College. Any super specific questions, I would direct you to honors@njit.edu. And residence life, it's a little bit different this year than it has been in the past. As you can see, we have some students wearing their masks, but we do have 6 residence halls on campus. We have over 140 social clubs and organizations, including Greek life, and we are a D1 school with 19 different departments or activities or sports. So there's a bunch of different things to do on campus, which is really nice. So the big questions we get asked is, how do I get into NJIT? So for your first year requirements, meaning you are in high school currently, a senior, and you're going to be applying for the fall of 21, you do need to have a common application complete with everything in it. There is an application fee as well. It is a $75 fee. We also need your high school transcript and a letter of recommendation. So a letter of recommendation, we want to see it from someone who knows you in a professional or an academic setting. So your boss, if you have one, a school counselor, perhaps a coach, or even one of your teachers is usually the most popular request. And then, like I mentioned about the portfolio section, for architecture, industrial design, digital, or interior design, you do need to have a portfolio. And I don't know if I mentioned this earlier, but it's anywhere between 10 to 20 pieces of original work, and you upload it to SlideRoom, which is essentially like Google Drive or Dropbox. For fall of 21, we are test optional. So for SATs or ACTs, test optional. Our average SAT is a 1295 and the average ACT is a 28. As far as your academic portfolio, we look for a B average or a 3.0 out of a 4.0 scale. And then we do want to see strong math and science grades on your transcript. Obviously, if you're going to be applying for history as your major, yes, it's still important to see the math and science grades, but obviously you may not be using those in your everyday history life, let's put it that way. And then for the majority of these STEM-related majors, pre-calc is also a requirement. For honors, so the difference between the honors and general admission within the world of SATs, it is still required for honors. So as far as the academic profile, we are looking for a 3.5 GPA out of a 4.0 scale, 2 letters of recommendation, as well as a personal essay. There will be a prompt, it's all online, so it tells you exactly what the prompt should be, as well as an interview. And then it's suggested / recommended to have honors and AP courses on your transcript as well. If you take the exam for the AP exams, we look for a 4 or a 5. And then as far as SATs, 1370 on the SATs, so that's reading and math combined, or a 30 on the ACTs. Now we do also take, we super score your test scores if you do submit them for general, but for honors it is a requirement. As far as your application checklist, make sure that you have the application in. We are a part of the Common App, but you can also apply on our website. Application fee and your college transcripts. Now this is also for transfer students. So there are instant decision days. They're every Thursday, so you just need to go online and register for them. But as far as requirements for transfers, at least 15 semester credits. So depending on your community college, that's anywhere between 4 and 5 classes. We also want to see on your transcript that you have English composition, math, usually pre-calc or college algebra, depending on the major. So if it's a math-related major, pre-calc. If it's a science-related major, then physics. And a 2.5 or higher on your GPA out of a 4.0 scale. And then again, the portfolio requirements are for the architecture and design programs as well. For tuition, tuition and cost, the in-state tuition is $17,674. Out-of-state is $33,386, and room and board is $12,995. So let's just call it 13. Most of our students, I'd say about 80% of our undergraduate students receive some sort of financial aid, whether that's merit-based or need-based. The difference between the two is need-based, you fill out the FAFSA. I suggest everybody open or apply for the FAFSA. Even if you think you don't need it, you could get something, you never know. And it is open now, so if you do want to put in the paperwork, go right ahead. We also offer merit-based scholarships, so it's typically based off of your GPA or your SAT or ACT scores. And if you are going to be applying for the FAFSA, there is a specific school code for NJIT. So if you want to take a picture or a screenshot, now would be a good time to do so. But if you forget or you don't have a pen handy, you can always email us and we can give you the code. So we do also offer career development services on campus, and their job essentially is to help you find a job. So here on the screen, there's a bunch of different alumni that are currently working. Some people are working at L'Oreal. We have students that are working, or I should say alumni, working at Facebook, Stryker, Johnson & Johnson, Boeing, NASA. So many cool employers that our students have gone on to work for, which is really, really cool. And I'd say 90% of our students receive 1 to 3 job offers even before they graduate, or by the time they graduate, they've at least received 2 to 3 job offers, which is really cool. Here's just a little snapshot of some of the places where our students have gone on to work for. Like I said, Boeing, Janssen, Stryker. We do also have some alumni that are in the Air Force and the Department of Defense, so that's kind of cool. PSE&G, Barclay, the list goes on and on. As far as return on investment, so essentially return on investment means the amount of money that you're spending on your education, you're going to get back quicker because your median starting salary is higher than most. So our students, their median starting salary is around $65,000, which is incredible considering you're right out of college. It's awesome. And like I said about the 90% students finding a job within 1 year, and alumni have reported that their mid-career salary is over $100,000, which is excellent. So some important dates for you to take note of. Early action is November 15th, so that's coming up. Early action 2 is December 15th, and then rolling admissions is March 1st. And then for transfer students, the fall semester would be June 1, spring semester November 15th, and like I mentioned, there are instant decision days every Thursday, so you just register for it online, and then you'll meet with one of our transfer admissions officers. Those codes are listed there again for you, as is our email and our phone number. So any questions that once this chat is over and you realize tomorrow you're like, oh man, I forgot to ask, please feel free to reach out. I will leave my email in the chat as well, so if you do want to contact me directly, you are more than welcome to. But that, I believe, is all. This is just a list of all of the open houses that are coming up. So if there was one that really sparked your interest, please feel free to take a look. Again, it's all online. You can register for it. They are free events. So what I can do now is stop sharing my screen. Oh, no, I don't want to do that. Sorry. Stop share. And what we'll do is check out and see if there's any questions and answers. Okay. Yes, we do have a fee waiver code. What I can do is put it in the chat. For those of you that have a pen handy, it is simply just N as in new, J as in Jersey, and the number 21. That will be the fee waiver code. If you took classes at community college, are you able to transfer credits? Yes, absolutely. You just need to provide us with, I'll hit answer live. What you'll need to do is just provide us with a transcript from whichever school it was that you attended, and then with all of the classes listed. So make sure that English comp is on there, as is a college level math as well. But yes, we do. Are there career development opportunities and or internships? Can I join with an undeclared mind of what I want to do in college? Am I flexible to change my career path? Absolutely. Yes, okay, cool. Debbie answered that, but for those of you that didn't see the question, yes, you are more than welcome to come in as an undeclared, and then you can work with an academic advisor to pick and choose what major works out best for you. When I was in college, I started out in one thing, and then I ended up in something completely different. So it is definitely feasible and flexible. There is another question about ESL. Unfortunately, we do not have ESL. It's typically offered at your local community college. As another question is, do you guys require a personal essay upon application? It is optional for regular admission, but for honors, you do need to have the essay, excuse me. And we already answered the fee waiver code. Answered that one. Dual enrollment, yes. Again, you just need to have your transcript from wherever you're taking those additional classes, and then all of that should be taken care of. Is there another one? How many seats available for computer science and an honors program? So when you say how many seats available, are you referring to the program itself, or I'm not entirely sure what you mean by that. Mechanical and electrical engineering, the same or different? They are two different options. Oh, yes, the program itself. Okay, so for, oh, no, I lost your initial question. With the Honors College, it is very competitive. I will say that. But as far as how many seats are available, I don't know the answer to that. I do apologize. I'm sorry.
I answered that question in the chat.
Oh, did you? I'm sorry, Debbie.
Yeah, that's why it went away. Typically, they're about, they accept about 120 students into the Albert Dorman's Honors College, and there's no space limitation for computer science. So students would just need to apply, and you would be admitted. Just make sure that you get your application in before the March 1st deadline.
Thank you, Debbie. Yes, there is an open house for the engineering program. Actually, let me go back and share that screen again so that you guys can see.
There are two mini open houses for Newark College of Engineering this Sunday at 10 and 12.
So these are all the dates and times for all of the open houses.
And did you want me to answer the mechanical and electrical engineering?
Yes, please.
Question? Okay. So engineering in general deals with design. So it just means that you're going to be designing that particular type of system. Mechanical engineering students would deal with mechanical systems, and then electrical engineering students will deal with electrical systems. Most mechanical systems are operated by some type of computing system, and computing systems are basically electrical systems as well. So if you're dealing with mechanical engineering, you can also get a background in mechanical engineering specific to computing systems. So you'll get a background in both, but they're technically two separate types of systems. So you just have to think about which one you're more interested in.
These are all really great questions, everyone. Okay, that one's done.
And you would need to register for any of the open houses, any of our on-campus events, you would need to register. And that's njit.edu/visit. And hi, everyone, just so you know, I'm real.
There she is.
You are welcome.
For dual enrollment classes, would you recommend taking English composition, pre-calc, and what else? That's for if you're going to be transferring in when you're in community college. Most of those classes are already, you'd be taking in high school. So that, in that regard, you don't need to have. But for transferring, then yes, you would need those classes on your transcript. I hope that made sense the way I said it. I'm just thinking now, maybe that didn't.
But for the, no, for the dual enrollment, it's exactly, you know, as you said, if you are a high school student and you are, say, in a program where you're taking classes at the community college, then you want to take classes that's relevant for your major. So typically it will be any of the math and science classes that are offered. If you are in a joint program where you are actually in a community college, and you want to go to the community college and then transfer to NJIT so that you don't have to worry about what classes to take. If you want to go into engineering, then you would apply for the engineering program at the community college. If you want to go into business, apply for business, computing, into computing, and then you just follow the curriculum. Since we have a joint program with them, the courses will transfer.
Excellent.
And there's a question, how does co-op programs work? Lucy, did you want to take that one, or?
You know, I'm not 100% sure. I mean, it really just depends on the college that you're in. Like if you're in the College of Computing, co-op programs are oftentimes with companies or organizations that we are typically affiliated with.
Right.
For example, our Martin Tuchman School of Management, we do have an IBM Skills Academy, so sometimes co-op programs are through the IBM company, but it really just depends.
Right. But you would sign up with Career Development Services. Lucy mentioned that early on, you sign up with Career Development Services, and the cooperative education is basically you're getting college credit. Some of it could be paid, and it's where you are taking a semester off, or you could take a year off to work at the company, and then you get college credit and you also get experience. But it's through Career Development Services, and you just have to meet the GPA requirement. So if you're doing something with NASA, they will have their GPA requirement listed, and then you would just meet the requirements for the co-op program.
For engineering, are you looking for pre-calc on a high school transcript? Is that needed? It's not just engineering in general. We're looking for pre-calc on all. So regardless, it would be, that is one of the requirements. Computer science or engineering college is a program still 4 years if we take a semester out for a co-op. No,
Yeah.
it would be longer.
It will be longer. Typically, at most polytechnic universities, students take anywhere from 4.5 to 5 years to graduate. That's typical. If you have a co-op job, for a lot of students, it's worth it to take the semester off because you're getting college credit and you're getting work experience. And for a lot of students who do co-op, if they do a really good job during the co-op partnership, they end up getting a job offer through that company. So even though it takes them longer, they already know as a junior, they have a job lined up when they graduate. So it's definitely worth the extended time.
Yeah, definitely. It's a really cool program, even if to just check it out, see if there's, see what other programs are offered. It's really, really interesting. How many math, I lost it. How many math-based classes do you need for architecture? To apply for architecture, or while you're already in the architecture program? As far as applying for the architecture program, I want to say pre-calc. If you have physics, I mean, I know that's not math, but statistics perhaps. When you're working in architecture, that's typically numbers related, so I would assume the more math classes, the better. But there really isn't like a specific number for how many math classes you have to take. I hope that answered your question, Nicole. I apologize if it didn't.
But the first year of architecture, you would find out mathematics and calculus.
Mm-hmm.
And the physics is algebraic, so definitely recommend doing the pre-calc as Lucy said, having the pre-calc as a high school student or a transfer student to be ready for that calc class.
So we have about 15 more minutes left. So if you do have more questions, please feel free to leave them in the chat. Like I said, got 15 minutes left because they're pretty strict on this, so which is good. You know, it gets everybody in and out and gets you with, you know, the information that you really, really need. But I would assume that if you have no more questions, then you are more than welcome to enjoy the rest of your Friday evening. Thank you for joining us. It was a pleasure. I know we can't see you, but hopefully you enjoyed it.
And for a Friday evening, we truly appreciate you spending the 45 minutes with us.
Absolutely. It made it a little bit more interactive for Debbie and I.
As Lucy mentioned, if you have any questions, please make sure to in contact with us. You know, reach out to our office at njit.edu if you want to email us. And you should have our contact information as well, but definitely get in contact with us or any of the departments. And there's a couple more questions.
Yeah, for the Honors College, is it limited to just certain degrees that was mentioned in the presentation, or is it open to anything? It is anything. So if you want to do the medical law through the Honors College, or let me rephrase that, if you want to go into a professional school, then you can do it through us via the Honors College. However, you can go into architecture but also be in the honors program. You just have more things that are available to you being an honors student. The biggest one that I can think of is being in the honors dorms. So no, you don't have to go on to the professional side of things, but you can still be in the Honors College. The email address again is admissions with an S at njit.edu. And if you go to our website, there's a little contact us. You can also there's a form there that you can fill out if you want to get on our mailing list. It's basically just a digital inquiry card. And that's a way for you to get on our mailing list, or we can send you pamphlets and stuff in the mail, because unfortunately we're not doing anything in person to get our information to you other than this.
And I'm sending I'm putting in the answer. Oh, it went away.
Oh, sorry, that was my fault. I pressed it by accident.
No, it's okay. But I was going to type it in so that way if you wanted to take a picture of it, it will be there. Students that I have 4 credits. For MCC, I'm going to, it's either Middlesex or Mercer, so it won't matter. For the dual, so all you would need to do is just send us the transcript. As long as the courses go towards your major, you would get credit for it.
I want to be able to teach for architecture as well. Is there something I can take that can help? Meaning like teaching architecture to students as like a professor or at a high school level for a tech program. I believe in order to teach regardless of the topic, you need to have some sort of teaching certification. So perhaps maybe.
Well, we have maybe the teacher certification. Yeah, we have a teacher certification program. So I would recommend, since the Bachelor's of Architecture is in preparation for the licensing, some students would do the 4-year Bachelor's of Science in Architecture. And then since we have a teacher certification program, then you would just take the additional courses required for the certification. And they also partner with schools in the area. So you want to maybe teach a drafting class or say, you know, a CAD class at one of the VOTEC schools, they would definitely have an architecture department, so you can do it on the high school level. So yes, you would be able to do that. Any other questions?
Oh, one more just came in. Do you have any accelerated or specialized programs for medicine? Yeah, so those are through the Honors College. We have an MD program with Rutgers, American University, and then there's a third one, but the name escapes me. I don't remember the university. But yes, we do. There is medicine as well as physician's assistant, physical therapy, dental. And I believe that's all the medicine, medical, anatomy.
Yeah, physician's assistant, physical therapy. There's the optometry.
Optometry, that's the other one. I knew there was another one.
I'm going to type honors at njit.edu. that you can just email them, or you can just type in Honors College in the search, and that will take you to their site, and that they'll have all of the listings, all of the requirements.
And there is an honors mini open house tomorrow. I believe there is still space. I'm not 100% sure. But if you go onto our website, again, that njit.edu/visit, you'll be able to find it there. Again, I'm not 100% sure if there's still any openings, considering it's less than 24 hours away, but you never know. Otherwise, there are further ones, or future events, I should say, that are coming up that are honor specific. The meetings recording, I'm pretty sure it's going to be on NJACAC's website, I would assume. If not, if you want to attend one of our open houses, it's basically the exact same format as this. Again, just njit.edu/visit. They are held every day, Monday through Friday, 2 p.m. on Fridays and Wednesdays, and then 11 for the other days. How accessible is NJIT for daily commuters? I would say it's pretty accessible. We are in downtown Newark, so there is public transport. There's a train stop that's literally 2 blocks up or behind. So it is really accessible for commuters. We do also have parking lots, or rather parking decks, but you do need to pay if you are going to have a car on campus for parking. But yeah, I would say it's commuter friendly.
Yeah,
A decent amount of our
Transit. Yeah, all New Jersey Transit trains stop in Newark. It's a hub for New Jersey Transit, so the buses and the light rail, as well as the trains. And there's a light rail, as Lucy mentioned, that goes directly from Penn Station to our campus. So 3 stops is the NJIT stop. We have our own stop.
Yeah, we're fancy like that.
Yeah.
Any other final questions in the last 4 minutes? No, I tell a lie. It's 45, not 40. In-state tuition is $17,674.
Yeah. And we are the head of our health sciences is a neurologist. So that is one of the areas that students do get into. It is not a major. So if that's an area, then you would go into like biological sciences, biochemistry, in order to do the specialization. But there are research opportunities in that area. Again, the head of the health sciences, that's his passion. So he's always looking for students, and he teaches those classes. So he's always looking for students with an interest in neuroscience.
There is also a new cyber psychology major as well.
There you go.
It's pretty cool. I think it's pretty cool. I have a psychology degree myself, so the fact that now cyber psychology is an option.
You would have done that.
I should have done it. Dang, I should have gone to NJIT. Any additional questions? Ooh, that's a tough question, Nicole. When I was a student, I lived in the dorms for my first year, but then I commuted, or actually I tell a lie, I went to community college, so I was living at home, and then I went back to a 4-year and I commuted. It really just depends on your personal preference. If you consider yourself a homebody, do you like being at home? Do you like being able to be 10 minutes from home? Do you want to be able to call up mom and dad and say, Mommy, I want to come home, I miss you? You know, it really just depends. If you live on campus, you do need to have a meal plan. So sometimes that can be a positive or a negative for some people. It really just depends. But if you want to get the full experience of college, then at least try it for your first semester. And then, you know, you do it for the fall, and then spring comes around, you're like, I really just want to go home. Then you can go home. That's fine. But at least try it, see how you like it, and then go from there.
Yep.
I think that
especially the first year. The first year tends to be the more challenging year because you're transitioning from being a high school student to a college student. Big difference.
Oh yeah.
So if you can afford it, I would definitely say that you should live on campus for, for your first year. So that way, as Lucy said, you can experience it, and then you'll know full well after that if you want to commute or not. But if you can afford it, I would go for it.
Mm-hmm. Plus, you get to meet a whole lot of new people, experience new things. You know, it's college. They say is the best time of your life. So if you can do it, why not?
Yeah, and you can roll out of bed in your flip-flops and walk to class.
Been there, done that. I can attest.
Exactly.
It's a beautiful thing, especially if you have an 8 a.m. class. Like, it is ideal. Is there transportation for moving within campus? Do you mean like getting from class to class? Our campus is relatively on the smaller side, so just your little legs are going to be getting you from building to building. It really will only take you about 5
minutes,
maybe 10 if you're walking really slowly. But as far as moving between the dorms, like say you started living in one residence hall and then you're like, oh, I really want to move to a different residence hall. There's big bins that you can use that are on wheels to transport your stuff. So I really don't know what you're referring to, if it's the one or the other.
But you answered both.
I did, so I tried. When in doubt, answer it all. You're welcome. All right, 4 more minutes. Any final questions? Oh, my shoulder just popped. Doesn't look like it. All really, really, really good questions.
And thank you for asking questions too.
Yeah, really. Makes it more interactive for us. What's the collaboration with Rutgers? Some may know, some may not know, but we share a street with Rutgers, with Rutgers and Newark.
Martin Luther King.
We share MLK Boulevard. We are on the left, they're on the right, depending on which direction you're coming in. But we do have a bunch of different collaborations with them. The library is one of them. Some of the courses, like you can do non-matriculated courses with them, or vice versa. You can be a student at Rutgers and do them with us, and blah, 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 so on and so forth.
Yeah, typically what happens is we have cross-registration.
So that's what it's called. I knew there was a term for it.
Since they have more humanities and liberal arts courses. So if you wanted to, take Greek mythology or, a European history class, they would have more of a selection of humanities and social science classes. And then students at Rutgers will come to NJIT to take more tech courses. So they'll come to take engineering and computing courses and science courses. So we do have joint programs with New Jersey Medical School. So there are dual program, theater arts and technology. There are a number of courses where majors where some of the courses are at Rutgers Newark and vice versa.
There was a question about scheduling for the engineering on the 11th. I believe it's November 11th, not October 11th.
No, engineering is Sunday. Sunday's the 11th. So there's 2 sessions.
Right.
Yeah,
I was
there's 2
looking at the mini
sessions.
spotlight. That's what I was looking at.
There's 2 sessions on October. There are more openings. There's more availability for the 12 o'clock. Yeah,
I think
for the
so,
12,
yeah, 12.
there's 1 at 10 and 1 at 12. So if look at the 12 o'clock session, if that's okay with you. There are a lot more openings for the 12 o'clock session.
And our time is just about up, everybody. So it is going to shut off. I do believe that is the case. So we will say goodbye and good night. Please email either myself or Debbie if you have questions. I can type my email in super, super quick. Oh, no, it stopped. Okay. All right. Thank you again, everybody. Have a great evening.
Thank you both so much for sharing this information with our attendees. Attendees, just as a heads up, you will be receiving a quick survey when this session ends momentarily. We hope you'll fill it out. Know that the recording is going to be available on the site that you see there, njacac.org/virtual-fair. And like I mentioned, there are a few more sessions this evening at 8 p.m. So feel free to stay on and see what other colleges you might be interested in. Thank you all. Have a wonderful evening.
Thank you.
Thank you.